Hey everyone, it's Gilz with your Postgame Talk here in the Bahamas as Kansas State picks up a 73-70 victory over Providence as the Wildcats are now moving on to the championship game thanks to an overtime victory over Providence. 73-70 out here in Paradise. I'm taking one for the team here. I'm in the Bahamas as the rest of the GoPowercat staff will be in Lawrence covering the Sunflower Showdown on Saturday. Real quick, if you're not subscribing to this YouTube channel, be sure to do so. We just passed 11,000 subscribers. It makes Fitz very happy, and he would love to see that number grow. So leave a like, leave a comment, all the good stuff that you see on all the daily deliveries from Fitz. Really helps us out a lot. Speaking of Fitz, the old boss man has been sitting down on a lot of these talks after games, so we're going to switch it up and walk around a little bit and stay true to the walk and talk name that Fitz created. And honestly, he has kind of let die, but we're here to revive it. So about this game, Kansas State, like I said, in overtime, picks up a huge victory, and just can't say enough about the crowd that was here in the Bahamas. And there was a good amount of purple roaming the island today and yesterday. But boy, this place was loud. It felt like Bramlage Coliseum with the presence that these fans had, and not only K-State fans, but Providence fans as well. Respect to the Friar fans, made their presence felt here, as this was a really fun, atmosphere to be a part of. The Miami-Georgia game was the first one of the two, and I was like, wow, this is boring. But after, witnessing what these two fan bases were able to do and the noise they created, it was a really fun game. And K-State, Will McNair, I think this is the best way to sort of describe this game was K-State went through a bunch of different phases in players that stepped up and helped them win this game. Will McNair started off with the first 7 points for Kansas State. After that, he didn't do a whole lot, but you got to remember, Will McNair, a former Providence player for a few months. He never played a game with the Friars, but was a part of that team for a few months. So I don't know how much he had on the scouting report, but certainly having a body like that, a big physical presence down low in the paint doesn't hurt. But I'm sure this game meant a lot to him, and I'm sure he knew some of those tendencies that Kim English's squad was playing with. And after McNair had the hot start, he sort of cooled off, and K-State was up and down throughout the rest of the first half. Turnovers were big. K-State still has to cut down on those. Around 20 tonight here against the Friars. You're simply not going to win many games when you're in that ballpark. And Tang has mentioned countless times that this team has to have 12, 13 turnovers. That's where they want to be and have a good chance to win those games. But they win this one tonight despite the turnovers. In the second half, it was really the showtime for not only Tyler Perry but Arthur Kaluma, as that duo combined, I believe, for 24 out of the 28 second half points for Kansas State. Just crazy. All the preseason hype, really, we saw that on the court here in the Bahamas as those two went after it. Arthur Kaluma, after Tang said he needed to buy in following the Bellarmine loss. This is the first home game of the season for Kansas State. Didn't play against South Dakota State on Monday, and so people were left wondering, what's going on here with Kaluma? Is everything okay off the court? Is he in the doghouse? I think all that stuff got shot down today here in the Bahamas as Kaluma was tremendous, especially in that second half. Had a big three-pointer in overtime as well. And Tang mentioned it here post-game how, Arthur Kaluma is buying in. It's coming. And so Kaluma was big, Perry was big. Like I said, those two players were huge in the second half. I was going to say the final 20 minutes, but that's, final 25 minutes, I guess I should say, as this game did go to overtime. And then in overtime, the unsung hero maybe, David Gasson, had two really huge layups to put this team over the edge and give them a victory in that final extended period. Gasson's layups were huge, and contributions from, I would say that starting five. You look at the stat sheet though, and Cam Carter didn't score many points, but he sort of reverted back to his role of being that role player here against Providence. Carter had a lot of steals. The defense was locked down, and while he didn't put the ball through the net, that's what happens when you go off and get a career high in points in his previous game. Carter's on film. Providence was certainly doing its best to slow him down, and so while he didn't put the ball through the net, didn't score a bunch of points, Cam Carter was really solid in basically everything else that he did for the Cats. And so a really good win for K-State here in Paradise. One more coming, like I said, on Sunday. against Miami. That should be a lot of fun. Nigel Pack, I don't have anything bad to say about him. And obviously it would have been nice to see him finish his career in purple, but he's obviously flourishing as a Hurricane in Miami. And so it should be a lot of fun here. But until then, K-State's off to a really good start to this weekend with obviously a basketball victory over Providence. K-State football's got a chance to do something on Saturday, keep its winning streak over the Jayhawks alive between the Gridirons, and then on Sunday here, we'll be right back with more coverage as Kansas State moves on to the championship game thanks to a 73-70 victory over Providence.